You know what's really funny is
Wait a
I
minute.
hear that there. I hear
Wait,
it.
is it fading out?
No, no, no. It's you're playing it on your
Oh,
side.
I'm like, wait, what is going?
So like I have it on my other screen. You can hear me laughing. Oh, that's great.
Oh, it's on my
You
phone. Okay.
can
All right.
I have it on the screen
Mhm.
and I forgot to mute it before we started. So I was like, "Oh crap, I edited it with like double sound." And then I realized that I hadn't muted it yet. So good evening everybody. Hi.
Hello. I want to say a special what's up to Big V. That looks like a new person, and Brian. Brian looks like he might be a new person. But of course, we love all of our people we already know, like Fours and Say Wong and Joe Hill. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank
I'm
you. Hi
guessing
graveyard.
some of you are tuning in for this bad boy.
Already
This
counting
is
them.
what we are giving away tonight. This is the Marauder
Hi, Bat
by
Mike.
TXQ. And it
Yes.
comes with a Suba that is detachable. But anyone that's taken a smack or two on the fingers will love and appreciate a Suba. We'll talk more about that later. But I just want to let you guys know that you are in the right place. Even if we
Graveyard
weren't giving away stuff, you'd still be in the right place.
Graveyard and Forest are on Discord right now watching this live together, and they're MST3K in it as it happens. And they're roasting us, pretty much.
Wow, I would love they should record that and then we should play that out and have that on our Patreon.
Oh gosh. So it's the Graveyard and I are recording our reaction to this live. Oh, that's wonderful. Hello. 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 Reactions from our viewers. We appreciate you so much. All right. Go patrons. Um patrons, not patrias. Sorry if you mistook that. It's go Bills. Anyway. So how are you, sir?
I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm doing okay. We had a I was in Sacramento today, so I got to meet a bunch of new people. We hit our
Nice.
limit. Of course, some people know that are here. We hit our 800 subscribers today.
Yes.
And I want to say I was just thinking about it. John was the last person to win a Saber. That was only like 2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah, yeah. That was like 2 weeks ago.
Man, we're putting them up faster and faster.
Cool. Good.
How are you doing,
Um,
Mez?
I'm good. It's been a crazy 2 weeks. This is the end of the crazy 2 weeks, so I'm looking forward to like a couple days of downtime.
Right.
I worked another memorial service this weekend,
Wow.
and
What's up, Pat
I
Mike?
have basically have a mobile streaming setup, except the venue. If the venue has crap internet, I can't do anything about streaming.
Right, right.
And the sound stuff is also kind of weird because they have usually the venue has their own sound system, and then I have mine, and I can't like have them you have you use two mics all the time. So it's just
Right.
kind of it's frustrating. But it is what it is, and it went okay. I did the best I could, and I'm going to be editing it as a cleaner version of it with better sound. So yo Matt, what's up? Forrest, I'm commenting for the singular purpose of winning a saber. Many are. It's been busy, and I'm looking. I turned off my alarm for tomorrow.
Mhm.
I am so excited as a
Ooh,
mama to get to sleep this week. And I put on
me
special sparkly
too.
eyeshadow for tonight too. Sparkly.
Aww.
It's
Pat
fall
Mike, thank you
color.
so much. We appreciate that you love the
Yay,
show.
Bat Mike, thank you. But without further ado, oh gosh, I don't even have my clipboard with me.
What are you going to do without your clipboard? How
I
is
left
ever
it.
will the show run?
I left it at my church. How's
No!
it gonna work? Well, you know what it's time for?
Nerdy news.
First in the news today.
Oh, we get a double take of
Yeah, I
the
accidentally
theme.
looped it. Sorry about it. So first thing in the news today, Jason David Frank passed away at age 49. Many people have noticed. At first, it was thought to be like a hoax at first because it wasn't confirmed, but it is confirmed. It's very sad to have lost him so early on. Um, for
Wow.
many, I don't know if this was confirmed because from what I saw as a statement, it wasn't confirmed, but the rumor is that he took his own life, which is super duper sad. So I want to reach out and remind people that if you are feeling alone, reach out, find someone. No one wants you to suffer. In the description, there is a link to Lifeline, which is the US hotline for suicide prevention. So it's just 998, I believe, is the number you can call now. That is the new number for it. So please call and reach out. Yeah, I know TMZ said it was, but I did not see a statement from the family saying that specifically. So I'm waiting on saying that it is confirmed that that's how he passed. But it's hurting a lot of people because this is the generation, the ones that our generation or grew up with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and him, being the Green Ranger, White Ranger, all that kind of stuff, and being Tommy.
Right. And we did. It was weird. We did happen to mention talking about him on the on After Dark last Friday.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
Very, very sad.
That's hard. Yeah, he was someone a lot of people will miss. Like I was really excited when he was in the last Power Rangers movie and stuff.
Right.
One of the
that
recent
Mike
ones.
says,
So,
once a Ranger, always a Ranger.
Yes, once a Ranger, always a Ranger. Agreed. That's rough.
And
it all went through his rep.
Making
Understood.
a statement. Yeah.
The statement I saw the family make was to please. It was a rep. The rep made a statement for the family and said to give them privacy. So I know in the statement I saw didn't say he had taken his life, but so I was holding off on specifically saying that is what happened. SMM Gaming is here too.
What is up?
Hello.
I want to thank all of the new people. I met so many people, particularly today in Sacramento. But I want to say we got picked up like 15 subs yesterday in Modesto. We did a lot better. We did a lot better on subs than we did on sales.
Were you about to say a lot more better?
Well, I know I was, and I'm a teacher, so that's deplorable.
Yeah, I was like, excuse me. Okay, so let's move on. We are all very sad.
The second one's happier news.
Second one is happier news. Andy Serkis, who is on Andor, his character was absolutely amazing. And there is an article in the link below with an interview with him about his character and coming up with a backstory and such. Either way, it's hard to hear that he passed. Absolutely, Joe. It is very sad to hear that Jason David Frank passed away.
Right.
Yes, Andy Serkis. I love his work. I do have this thing where, like, if I watch his mouth too much, I just see Golem's lips.
You know what? I didn't realize that was Golem until this weekend. I saw an interview with him. I didn't know he was Golem.
Remind me to give you a smack next time I see you in person.
Which will be like 6 months from now?
Maybe. No, we'll see. I absolutely adore Andy Serkis, and his work is absolutely spectacular. So if you guys want to check it out, there is a link in the description below. Austin St. John also gave a touching tribute, given his relationship with JDF. That's very touching. It's so sad.
I want to say, on this story too with Andy, how do you pronounce his name?
Serkis, like a circus.
There was another article on for the was it Mandalorian? Was it Bill? Oh God, what is the other character's name? He was a small bit character. He was on Mandalorian season 1. He was the one that they broke out of prison. And then in season 2 they came back because they needed him to get into the Imperial base or whatever. But his little bit character, what I love about these offshoot shows, especially with the Star Wars ones, is there are certain characters that are just kind of throwaway characters that are absolutely shining. The Andy Serkis one by far was an incredible acting job.
I'm not going to give any. I mean, that episode, the last episode we saw him in was like last week, 2 weeks ago.
Bill Burr. That's it. Thank you, Graveyard.
Okay, but I'm not going to give any spoilers, but I do hope we see more Andy Serkis.
Yeah, I've heard rumors that we're not necessarily done with that character.
When you see a character and they're not like on screen, you can't rule them out.
And you know what? Even if they are on screen, look, Darth Maul got cut in half and thrown down a chimney, and he still came back.
I mean, you see lots of people go. And
Emperor Palpatine got thrown down a shaft, and the entire Death Star blown up, and somehow he came back. Somehow he's come back.
Like the characters die and come back all the time. It's like a soap opera. All right, so moving on, we have our Flow of the Show. James Kaiser, our producer, brings us the Flow of the Show every week, and we appreciate that very much. Since I don't have my clipboard, my brain is blanking on the name. I think it's Pan and Aurora.
Yeah.
from the instrumental of the now performance troupe. So without further ado, enjoy.
Woohoo!
Gotta give our little James an outro there. Thank you so much, Mr. Kaiser, for bringing us that.
That was really cool. I don't remember seeing two fire dancers at once. Have we seen that yet?
Not here. No, wait. We saw two a while back, but they had like these fan pieces that had fire at the end, but there were two of them.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was a while back though. It was like 3 or 4 months ago. Like it was 3 months ago at least. So that was really cool. So thank you, James Kaiser, for bringing that to us. Next is our guest.
I. I am excited about our next guest. 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 I am excited So we had to let everybody know we had a different guest planned. He had to drop at last minute. And because I was at conventions all weekend, I did not have as much time to get out and scout for a backup as much as I'd like to. But we had another exciting guest in the wings that we have never talked to. So with no further ado, I would like to give it up for our guest tonight, Miss Mezzo!
That's kind of rude.
Jeez! Oh, at the same time the door is shut and you're 10 bits. Oh my goodness. Thank you.
I'm stuck in the wall. Like halfway. I'm wondering, do I just... What do I do? I won't like even... Oh wait. Now I need to repair it. That last clip, I had opened the door when I was on top of it.
Yeah.
I was looking to the ceiling, and I could not figure out what to do. And I realized I just need to close the door.
I felt like I was seeing the many hairstyles of Mezzo.
I know. And my hair has changed so much over time. So 2 years ago, I chopped it really short, like 2.5 years ago. I chopped it short, and then I started bleaching it and dyeing it like fun colors.
Right.
And I have very curly hair, and unfortunately, who is this Mezzo? She seems so awesome. Should meet her sometime. Thank you, Graveyard. I went purple, and obviously, as you saw, bright neon red.
Right.
And they're fun, but with the curly hair, it completely killed. Seeing that makes me nervous for it. It killed my curls. I just had fried hair. Like
right.
It was just a fried hair. I couldn't wear. Hi, John. Oh, you scared me. You know how weird it is to make a guest intro for your own self.
For yourself.
I'm like,
well, I thought it would be fun to talk to you because, you've come in and you've done so much for this show. You've done so much for the channel in general. But I feel like a lot of what you do is kind of behind the scenes. And a lot of people don't really know about your history, who was Mezzo before she got to Kyber Cave. About, some of your other skills and talents and all the stuff that you do for us here. So I thought this would be a really fun interview.
I'm excited. I was like, and I joked with my husband this morning. I said, you know what? I could do this. I could be the guest. I could be a backup guest. And then we're at church and you're like, hey, it's you. I was like, oh. And I told my husband, he goes, you didn't even mention it? I said, no. And now I'm nervous because I'm talking about myself. And I'm not much to really get into about me specifically.
Right.
Anyway, okay.
Well, people that have been here and around the channel, there's a lot of people here that are brand new. What's up to John and Matt?
Don't forget your questions in the chat.
Yeah, don't forget to leave your questions in the chat. So you've been with Kyber Cave for 7 months now, but a lot of people don't know how you got here. A couple of people have heard the story about Steven, but meaning, what have you done before this? What other kind of talents and things that have you done to make it possible for you to direct this channel?
So when I, after my latest foot surgery, I was trying to look for something to do. Okay. And I kept watching a streamer that I loved named Slipgator. He's no longer streaming right now. He's living on a sailboat with his wife and dog.
Wow.
But it really, I loved it. And I just thought that would be so cool to do. I know it's a lot of work. I know people don't realize how much work it really is. And I was like, I really want to do that. And so I started off at first with just recording my own YouTube videos and editing them and uploading them. But I really wanted to do Twitch. And so I started streaming gaming on there. And slowly I built up just kind of doing live shows and things like that. And then I started working for my church. I'm their stream and record technician even now. Right. I record and edit the videos. I make all the graphics. I do all that. And when I was starting to do Twitch, and you get something called channel emotes, like channel art and all that. And I knew I would not be able, I was just starting out. There was no way I was going to be able to hire somebody to make something for me. So I started learning on my own. My husband had Photoshop elements, and I started like just kind of playing with the tools, Googling tutorials because Google is awesome.
Right.
I started looking up how to do things. And so I was in this server that was for streamer growth specifically. And who's your favorite bearded horror guy? Graveyard. You know the answer to that, my friend. It's you. So I started doing like all the channel art for people in the server just for fun. And when I realized I had 14 folders for 14 different people I've done work for, I realized I should start charging for it.
Right.
Because I started to just do it a lot. And so, of course, Graveyard, of course. And who was my favorite bearded person playing all of the Last of Us episodes?
Yeah.
And so sorry, I'm blanking for a second. Okay, so I started doing that all the time for all the people in there. And then I just started slowly teaching myself more and more. And I invested a little bit and got Adobe Premiere Pro. I got all the apps from Adobe Creative Cloud, and I started learning how to do all that. And I got better and better with editing. I did take a short online class. But the Bearded Brothers for life. Who's my beard? I have a mustache. And then 2.5 years ago, I joined the new Rockstar server.
Right.
And about 4 months after that or so, I became a moderator for them. And you don't, as a moderator, you don't get behind the scenes stuff or anything like that. But watching the show and seeing, and I just watch a lot of YouTube as well, seeing how a live show will go with segments and such like that. You just kind of get it sometimes. And I got the hang of segments and running things and whatnot. And then the biggest thing when you're streaming, whether it be on YouTube, Twitch, or anything, the biggest thing is networking. You want to schmooze, talk to people, build relationships. You're not in this just to get followers. Yeah, new rock stars are awesome. You're there to build. I'm here to connect with people. That's my big thing. I love here Forrest, a guy I would have never met in real life, in person here in California. I would never have met him without Kyber Cave. And so the reason I started, I realized I just wanted to be a streamer, but I realized my favorite part was just connecting with people. It is the best part.
Right.
And so it makes me excited to talk to people that I never would have known otherwise. And so you see how many amazing people there are in the world that you could have just never known.
Right.
And so that's my favorite part. And so I kind of started learning a little bit more about networking and getting your name out there and people and stuff like that. So I started just kind of learning a little bit about that. But I had to take a step back from Twitch streaming because family stuff was really going down. We had some things going on. So I took a step back and I just realized the name of the flow is at the top of the screen and I could have looked there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, now you see it.
That's funny. I've never noticed that before just now.
Yeah. I took a step back and was just not doing it for a while. I was working for my church and I was really focused on that but I wasn't doing a whole lot. And then thank you guys. You guys are too sweet. And then
I totally have a story for that, by the way, when you finish up here. Okay.
And then a friend of mine who happens to be the manager at Kyber Cave messaged me one day and said, hey, a little text on Facebook. He was like, do you happen to know someone who knows how to edit videos and has some experience streaming?
And just so people know, I am not the manager at Kyber Cave.
He is not the manager. He's the owner, but he's not the manager. My friend Steven's the manager. And he messaged me that and I replied, what do you want? And he told me that Kyber Cave needed someone kind of last minute. And I originally thought I was only going to be on for a help for a short time kind of a thing. I wasn't sure what was going to happen.
Right.
And I just said, sure. And so then that was on what? Thursday or Friday?
Wednesday or a Thursday or something? Yeah,
it was a Thursday,
late in the week.
And then you and I talked on Facebook for a couple of days. I met you in person at Kyber Cave on Sunday, the day of Saber Rattle, and we had a rush editing thing for 3 hours. And it was my first show that night. I literally joined 2 or 3 days before my first show.
Baptism by fire.
Yeah, exactly what it felt like. So that's how I joined the show, and I've only missed the one Sunday, and that was, I mean, aside from the one we had to cancel, but that was when I had my anniversary trip already booked.
Right.
That was episode 100 too.
And you are so loved here. Like, you can see all these comments for us. We love you, Graveyard. We all love you.
I know, you guys.
John, totally. What's so funny is they have so much love for you. You get credit for doing work that you don't even do. We were on the show Friday night. And Forrest made a comment about Ark's not even here on his own show, and I was like, I'm backstage handling all of the comments on the side and doing the camera. I was like, who did you think was doing all that? And they were like, we thought Metz was doing that.
No, I wasn't really there. I did join on in the background to like upload some stuff to the channel, but I wasn't coming on the show.
Right. I do work around here occasionally too, guys.
Sometimes. Okay.
Sometimes.
Ark and I have a lot of chatter back and forth. Like we've only met each other in person like 5 times, but we talk, I think, every day.
Every day, all day.
Every day, all day, like throughout the day, like just about things. Like we're designing business cards right now for the show. We are like that close to finishing. Just have to make one little change on something to make it smaller, and then it's done. And I will send that over to him to take care of. Here you go. I'm done. Yeah. So yeah, that's funny that he was like, "Where's Ark?"
So you have had, you've got a little bit of knowledge and everything. Because not only do you that, you do photography as well. When you first came on, you were actually commissioned to do artwork for a book for another person. You were doing illustrations. So you have a little bit of your hands in lots of different pots, it sounds like.
I do. I do some digital art. It has been a little rougher on my wrist. Like I have some, my tennis elbow and stuff. I drew for a book. It has not been published yet. But I drew like 12 chapters, like just an image for each chapter title page. And so that was really cool. That actually had to do with, like, when I said networking, I made a friend in streaming, and her dad's writing a book with these other guys, and she let him know, hey, she does art, and I got hired as their artist. Like I auditioned by drawing one of their chapters for them and say, here you go.
Right.
And it was like 75% done, and they went ahead and said, yes, let's do it. And yes, Forrest is correct. Forrest gave John his answer. I use Adobe Premiere Pro for all my video editing. I use Adobe Photoshop for all my graphics work. And then for my art, I use Adobe Illustrator.
So you had experience in creating graphics on computers, creating live illustrations by hand, doing web streaming, running a Discord. It sounds like you had like a lot of. Were those helpful for you for what you do now at Kyber Cave?
Yes. So, especially being part of the new Rockstars Discord for a large YouTube channel, you can see like where things are growing from, and you see how things should be handled, and cover your base. Force and Graveyard Premiere Pro Mommy, my Premiere Mommy. You guys are so silly. Matte stick people are great. They can be used really well. Oh no, why did I just do that? That looked very. Ex-presidency. So I think doing all of that and being a part of it really helps with Kyber Cave today, because now we have a Discord. For those who don't know, check out the link in the description below, that I was able to set up, and a friend of mine who's really good with the bots in Discord also helped me set it up, and knowing how it should be run, kind of a thing. So this is all new to you, the Discord part. Yeah, I've been on Discord for over 4 years now. And so you just kind of, over time, it's just like with music. I didn't know how to read sheet music when I started singing, but over time, after getting kind of thrown into it, you just kind of learn.
Right.
So
I still haven't
it's helpful to know.
Yet.
Yeah, you probably never will.
And that's why we have you.
And that's okay. You know, it's just Discord is a community chat forum. That's what it is. It's got channels for specific topics. That's the main part of it. And it's a place for people to connect. Like when we're not here chatting with people on live stream or in the comments, they can chat with us in the Discord regularly. Like I'm on Discord throughout the day, all day. So yes, don't forget to like and subscribe.
So if you want to get a hold of any of your favorite Kyber Cave Productions people, you can do so through the Discord. Hey, Brian.
Hi, Brian. Welcome in.
Thank you for tuning in.
And in the description below, I put my Twitter in because when it comes to social media, my Facebook is like what I prefer more for private use, like personal stuff. But I have my Twitter also in the description below, and that is where like I'll tweet things every day, and stuff. So you can follow me there as well. I have an Instagram, but I don't really use it. I just forget to check it. I can only keep up with so much of it. So you can all go check it out there.
So when Kyber Cave Productions started, actually, I think it was just Kyber Cave. I think we switched to Kyber Cave Productions after you got here. We started off with just one show, and then I think before you got here, we started Kyber Cave After Dark, right? That was already going before you got here,
when
right?
I joined, it was Kyber Cave Productions. And After Dark, After Dark and Saber Rattle were going. I had no idea when I joined, like how new anything was or anything like that.
Right.
Messed up yesterday at Board Game Extravaganza. Awesome.
Ooh, it's good meeting you, Mike.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Glad to have you.
And we are giving away a saber tonight, Mike.
Yes,
Brian.
we are giving away a saber. And so now here we are 7 months later, and we have 4 shows, 4 live streams, and we have Force uploading gaming.
Right.
And it's really awesome to see how much it's grown. And then I was curious and looked recently. When I joined, we had 468 subscribers.
Right.
And now we have 802.
Woohoo!
And it's pretty awesome to see the growth, and I'm like excited to be a part of it.
Right. So in the last 7 months that you've been here, we've had as much growth as the first 2 years we were here.
Or so. Yeah, something like that. I'm just happy it makes me excited. And like I said, the best part is connecting with people. Like, I mean, Aubrey's beautiful and amazing. I love her. I got to meet her and have coffee with her, and we're like, we need to kind of. I want to wait until after the holidays, but I want to make that a weekly thing with her, like meet up and have coffee. Like that would be just freaking amazing. And it's just great to connect. And so that's my favorite part is like I jumped on this ship and didn't know where it was gonna go. And and then Graveyard and Force have got their retro alcove gaming going, which is really exciting. And you can wait until you see what they got going, guys. It's awesome.
Nice.
And so then Graveyard and I were working on a retro intro and stuff like that, and whatnot. So I sent him some templates.
Right. So you definitely work kind of intimately with a lot of different members of KCP. It's not just you and I working together, but you're helping Fours, you're helping Graveyard, you're meeting up with Aubrey.
Yeah, it's exactly like so. Like with Aubrey, I meet her in person. We were just chatting to connect. It wasn't like anything about KCP specifically. But with Graveyard and Forest, they're kind of doing some editing stuff with Premiere Pro. They've got Premiere Pro now. Right. And so we'll jump on here in one of those StreamYards and I'll walk them through something. Forrest and I did a lot of it when he first got Premiere Pro. It was like he crash course in editing and he has learned so much so quick. It's pretty awesome. Right. So Forrest is my oldest Premiere son, and then I have 4 sons now. I didn't realize. So that's why the joke is on Premiere Mommy, which is really funny because the first server I joined, that was that streamer growth server, and I became a mod and a manager, and I actually was admin for a time on it. They called me Mama Mezzo. And I found that like the majority of servers I joined where I helped manage, I become Mama.
Right.
Like mommy or mama, because I'm very like take care of someone. And so it just makes me giggle that that's kind of seems. I even have a mug that says Mama MezzoJD from those streaming days when I did that regularly. They called me Mama.
Right.
No, I only have Windows. Have only Windows? Oh, is Premiere only on Apple? No, Premiere's on Apple and Windows. It's on Mac and Windows. Yeah, it's on both.
So what is it that so when you first started off with KCP, it was pretty much us running Saber Rattle. You were doing the co-hosting, you were building cards and videos and stuff like that. You were doing a little bit for Kyber Cave After Dark, but now that this is all grown and we have more channels, what do you feel like your main job is right now? I feel like you're juggling a lot of different dishes at the same time. I
feel like the main thing is just editing staying organized, like when it comes to uploading things, which, you know, everyone makes mistakes. I spell things wrong or whatever. Making graphics, like stuff like that. I'm trying to take more, you know, like we had Tommy on last week. So like I'm trying to take more interest in trying to draw guests in.
Right.
Which is really nice because I want to make sure we get things scheduled out and stuff. So yeah, and if you ever want to look into a free editing software, DaVinci Resolve is a decent free editing one to start with. If you want to like try something out for free before deciding, yes, I want to do this. Anyway, so yeah. Editing and like doing graphics and stuff, but also like I feel like on Saber Rattle specifically, after I've done all the editing for it, I feel like part of my job is just trying to stay on task and then keeping up with the comments, posting links when needed to. Like if a guest mentions something that I didn't have a link to, I'll try to look it up real quick during the interview and then post it and stuff like that. So I'm just kind of like support. I feel like the support system, like the support part for that. Now I don't do all the editing for when it comes to the uploads. I don't do the editing for. I've given them like the intro video or whatever, but all the live stuff.
Right. And for those that don't know, because this show had been running for several years before Mezzo got here. However, Mezzo does a lot of so I do a majority of the booking, not all of the booking. But then as soon as I book a person, I pass them off to Mezzo, and Mezzo makes sure that they turn in all the photography, all the video clips. You'll notice before we go into our segments and as we come out, we usually have a little video of each person, what they do. When you saw the stunning red hair on Mezzo. And so all of that stuff needs to be collected ahead of time. So I know with Mezzo and I, we've got this rhythm where, you know, we have a page where we're constantly putting in work. I'll let her know as soon as I know who the next guest is. I set up a chat room so she can start communicating with them as much as possible.
Yeah,
so I know
and I just immediately start chatting with them about what to get from them.
Right. So I know we have a really good pour, and I find it interesting because you were talking about how you love to meet people. You've met a ton of people since you've been on Saber Rattle. Every week you're meeting,
and it's
somebody
awesome.
New.
Like, I mean, I can't help but say last week Tommy's was like one of the awesome. You know, that's someone who I've always wanted to meet for like 2 years, and so like finally having a conversation like this instead of just Twitter DM was like really cool.
Right.
But like it's really just so cool to connect with people. And so meeting like Mr. Michaels, I call him Mr. Michaels still because like unless I'm Facebook friends with someone, I feel like I have to call them by their last name sometimes. But I don't really chat, and he has, you know, he's been very busy lately, so we haven't really been able to chat a whole lot,
right,
and stuff. But meeting someone like Mr. Michaels, who was an actor on freaking Squid Game, like it's just freaking cool, and so
and
that's
hangs out with us
really
for
cool.
some reason.
You need to learn that rhythm. Anyway, so like yeah.
Wonderful. What do you and you also now besides all of this producing you're doing, you're also doing you have your own gaming on Wednesdays.
Yeah, so Wednesday morning is our gaming show, and that's something feels like I'm putting on my favorite pair of jeans because it's something that I've always been used to doing.
Right.
I don't know why I'm shaking. I'm like all excited. So like I love gaming, and when I was streaming, that was when I got to game.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm doing it again, even if it's just once a week. Connecting with people while I'm gaming is just like one of my favorite things. Like before streaming was even a thing,
right?
When YouTube had just barely started, kind of a thing. We would have a party. This sounds like in-person streaming, and we'd have like 6 friends come over, and one of us would watch him play Prince of Persia 2 for 4 hours straight. We would all sit together and watch them play. Like that was like in-person streaming, like it is now, the gaming streaming. It was just like that. So that's like kind of like my new thing, jumping into the CETA. But like, you know, outside of Kyber Cave, I do have several things I do. Excuse me. I have my own business.
You have a life outside of Kyber Cave?
I know. I have 2 children. I have 2 boys. They're the light of my life. One's in junior high and one's in elementary. And the reason I don't do After Dark on Fridays is because Friday night is reserved to hang out with my children. Like, so like they get it's not doing homework or bringing them home from school. It's coming home and just hanging out with them and focusing on them and what they want to do.
Right.
And giving them our attention, because sometimes we know like life gets crazy. So, and then aside from that, I have my own business. So I do some photography. Yesterday I worked at a memorial service and I streamed and recorded it, and I'm going to edit it and stuff like that. I did 2 memorial services the last couple of weeks. It wasn't like a planned thing, but I don't know if I'll regularly do that or not. I don't know for sure. I do digital art, as Van mentioned. I do drawings for people. I've actually taken pictures of a kid in a cool pose. No, Lightsaber, you did not miss the whole show. I'm the guest tonight, so it's just me. I'll take a picture of a kid in like a cool pose, and I'll draw them as a superhero.
Right.
And then this last spring, I did a fundraiser where I took pictures of kids in front of a green screen. And like my son and his best friend made a cool pose, and I put them in with the Avengers.
Oh, nice.
So I changed. It's called compositing, where you put videos like that together. Oh, thank you, Lightsaber. Thank you, Lightsaber. And then I'm also involved in a nonprofit that I am president and treasurer of currently. And that one can get kind of crazy too. So I have all of that going on. And then the work I do for my church on Sunday mornings, I stream and record that and stuff. Right. So all of that, I just do a few things. And that's all I can think of at this very moment. I also help out with a cat rescue here in town. I actually want to do the charity stream for them really soon. John, hi, Lightsaber.
Lightsaber is our good friend Saber Paul. Excellent
Saber
artist
Paul.
in the Saber community.
Thank you.
We love Saber Paul to death.
Yes, so very much.
How do you, pardon me, I get hiccups. How do you manage juggling family life? Another thing that I love that you do, because you talk about it in the groups too, is you go on date nights with your husband. So you're managing the family. You're still keeping that close relationship with your husband. You've got church obligations. You've got KCP. You've got new rock stars. How do you manage to handle all this? On top of the fact that you deal with chronic pain as well.
I do. Yeah, that is true. So the way I juggle everything, I know you've seen it before. I have a to-do checklist kind of a thing, right. And that helps me keep a little organized. I have changed some things. Like I used to do all my editing for Saber Rattle on Sundays, and I realized that was just too stressful. So I do the majority of it on Saturday now. But balancing it, so while my kids are in school is when I'll try to sometimes look for people as a guest or try to catch up on making something I need to do and upload it to StreamYard or whatnot. I try to do it during that, and I do most of my work I try to do while the kids are in school. And then Saturday is when I'll also because Saturday is usually a day that during the day we have nothing specific planned normally, right? And so that's the day I sleep in for one day. And then I wake up, hang out with family, whatever, to school. Matt, I've been being tested for it, and that's why I know that lists help me because my brain goes everywhere. Right. And I can't keep organized. And I start one thing, don't finish it, and get drawn to another and go back and forth. And I realized that when I first started editing for the show, that I would start editing for Talk of the Town, but then get distracted and start doing the guest. And once I wrote the to-do list, it was a little bit easier to focus. Right. So I kind of do something similar where I have a checklist that's work, which is this, and any other thing that's work, church, and home. And so I keep track of separate things. And I also actually have a to-do list. You can see if it'll focus, but I have a to-do list down here that tells me the due dates, and then I have my calendar up here. And I know that
it's like being back in college again.
I know it may seem like a little overkill. Where is my charger? I just realized my phone's dying. It may seem a little overkill for some, but it's what helps keep my brain focused on what I have to get done. Right. Matt says I'll start a new task while holding what I'm supposed to be doing and be like, what's going on? Yeah, exactly. I'll be that person that walks into the room and also forgets what they're doing. As you listen to my boring stuff while driving. I listen to Graveyard's podcast while driving. That is true. Wow. And so balancing and also open communication with my husband on what needs to be done. Right. For example, I'm part of the there's these 2 actors, Brian Deckhart and Amelia Rose Blair Deckhart. They are 2 actors mostly well known for being in Detroit Become Human, but also some other things they've done. And Amelia's birthday is today. So happy birthday, Amelia.
Happy birthday, Amelia.
And I'm part of a community where we make a project, and like today we made a video saying happy birthday. People submitted art, video messages, written messages, stuff like that. And I originally, for some reason, my brain switched to birthdays in my head, and I thought her birthday was Tuesday. And I was like, crap, I have to finish all the editing tonight. So I let my husband know. I was like, hey, after our date night, I'm going to have to cut it like a half hour short and finish this up. And he's like, totally like, cool. I'm just, as long as I'm open. But Saturday night, yes, we do have a date night every Saturday evening. And unless so we tell our mom, my mom watches the boys overnight just to, just because they love to go there too. Yeah. And we told her, if you ever need that break, just let us know. They can stay home. We can still go out because we live with my husband's mother. Right. And she can still hang out with them. But unless it's like one of us isn't feeling well or extended through any circumstances, we try to still always have date night. Like even if one of us isn't feeling well, we stay home for date night and spend time together, either like watching Andor, because we always get to, going to watch it right away, or YouTube videos or whatnot. So yes, and John's right. Organization is a magical power. When it stays organized, it doesn't always stay that way.
Right.
But yeah, right. I have a lot of, I'm becoming better too with balancing it and finding some balance. Sometimes there's some things, and I also have found a contentment with some things that you just can't get done. And I'm open about it. So like you'd mentioned that I have chronic pain.
Right.
And so for those who don't know, I have a condition called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. And it's a defect in your collagen, and it affects all of your soft tissue. And collagen is in everything, your bones, your ligaments, your teeth, like all of that. It affects you. And one of the most common things, hi, Joe Hill, coming in from there. So one of the things that happens is like subluxations or dislocations of joints. Subluxations are partial dislocations. So my rib will dislocate.
Oof.
That's happened before. My ankle has, which is actually what led to the 3 foot surgeries I have. My left SI joint, which is sacroiliac, it's a joint that connects your spine to your pelvis. That goes out of place.
Oh my God.
My kneecaps come out, like stuff like that. Like that happens often enough. And then I have scoliosis, and there's things that EDS causes. Like, so I have scoliosis. I have Dacrovane tenosynovitis, which has to do with the sheath in your wrist. Yeah, I know I'm weird with medical names. I know them. There's a sheath in your wrist, like all of this stuff. And then the worst pain is probably like my ankles, my foot and ankle after the 3 foot surgeries are never going to be the same again.
Oh.
And so that's why I have a collapsible cane in the car for in case it acts up. Because especially when we go to the movies, if I don't move for a while, Aubrey, hello, beautiful. If I don't move for a while, it's really hard to walk. So I use my cane, and it's named Kanos after Thanos to get around. And I have a handicap placard because of how much walking can really aggravate things.
Right.
And I've actually, with the pain the scoliosis causes is muscle spasms in between my shoulder blades. And it's okay for us, No, I don't just sit there and blab about it all the time, I know that, hey, here, I have this illness. Here, take a look. I come to term, peace with it. Right. And there are days I'm hurting, like really bad. And I just, you just have to keep moving. So, Ebony Santa Maria, hello. I see the board game extravaganza event. These are awesome. Yay!
Hello,
welcome, yes. Ebony.
And we are giving away a Saber tonight.
Yes, we are.
I just keep having to remind the new people to jump it in, because I think sometimes people are like, are they giving away a Saber tonight?
Yeah, John and I are SI joint twins, he says. Yes, because we both have issues with our SI joints. And then after the foot surgeries, I'm flat-footed on one side and not on the other. So I kind of have this weird gait. Graveyard Mezzo, just super powered person to deal with all that. Me and for my premier babies.
Right. Well, I brought that up.
Night.
I brought that up. As some of you may know, we have a brand new show that started on Kyber Cave last Wednesday, coming on Wednesdays, called Hearts of Kyber. And our focus there, it's with myself and John, who is Ability V, here on the side comments. Our focus on that was going to be about health, conversations about health and disabilities, just because I think there are so many people that suffer from so many different things, and they do it in silence. I would be willing to bet you the majority of our people in our group in KCP don't know that you deal with chronic pain on an everyday level, because you wear it so well. You just go about your life and you do what you need
stylish.
to
I'm just kidding. I go about, because in a way, like, when it comes to the mental suffering from it, I know, gosh, it's hard to really explain, because I wasn't diagnosed until 3.5 years ago, but I've suffered with it since I was 17, like the issues from it.
Right.
And it was something that a lot of people don't know what EDS is. And if you don't know, I mean, a lot of doctors don't know too. It's starting to be more well known, because a lot of people, we call ourselves zebras, hence all the zebra stuff, right? Like right this side. That's why I have like zebra print everything. As zebras are in the medical world, it's like if you hear a hoofbeats, expect horses, not zebras. We are the zebras. We are what's not expected, kind of a thing.
Right.
So yeah, a lot of people probably wouldn't know. It's like Forrest mentioned, he didn't know that I deal with it. I just deal with it, and I know I can find joy in so many other things. It helps with the pain, but I also know when I've hit my limit and need to just take it easy.
Right.
And for example, I've been going hard for the last 2 weeks, and when I woke up this morning, it felt like it was one of those. I felt like I got hit by a truck. My husband's like, "You'd probably be dead," and I said, "Okay, I got hit by a truck while I was still in my car." Okay, like you're so sore from holding tension and stress and all that kind of stuff. And I've actually, from the pain and the scoliosis I've had, I've passed out on stream once.
Oh my God.
So I was holding a community game night on the streamer growth server I'm on. And we were playing this game called Deceit. And it's kind of like one of those, it's kind of like Mafia, but you're a vampire as the bad guy. And I'm sitting here playing, and I'm having the pain, and I'm trying to just ignore it, because I'm sitting here and I'm the host of this game night. I've got to get through it. And I'm sitting here pushing through it. And I notice that my vision starts to go. And I feel my heart slowing down. You have pain, mental illnesses, and they don't have me. Exactly. It's a great way to put it, John. Most days. Some days, it's okay to just cry. It's okay to just take, go shut yourself away, because sometimes that's how I decompress.
Right.
And if I hurt a lot, I'm hurting really bad for a while, sometimes I'm just not the nicest person. And I know the best thing for me and for everyone else is to just go rest. So I was sitting there in pain, trying to push through this, and I just feel it kind of going. And I'm like, "Oh, hi, Dominique." I was kind of like, I like knew I was gonna go. I knew it was gonna happen, and I just went, I'll be right back. Like I couldn't even speak.
Wow.
And I hit the mute, turned off the camera, and just kind of my bed was right, because at the time my stream setup was in my room. I just turned to my bed and collapsed.
Oh my God. And
I suddenly started shivering, and my heart started racing. After it had slowed down, my heart started racing, and I couldn't and my friend who was watching was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I don't know. I feel awful. Something is wrong. I don't feel good." And that was like the first time I had passed out from it. And I waited about 5 minutes. I had like a starting soon screen with at a be right back screen with like music playing.
Right.
I had it prepared.
Like, where is she?
And I heard a child. And I decided to just I was like, okay, I'm going to feel better in a couple minutes. I'm going to get back on. And my friend's like, he was like the kind of the one who was managing it at the time. We're no longer friends, unfortunately, but he was like, just get on, do the giveaway that we have set, and then just get off, and go rest.
Right.
And you're going to find out that I'm not someone who gives up easily. So I went back online. I explained, I was like, I had calmed down a little bit, but I just was not feeling good. Like, you're exhausted afterwards.
Right.
And my doctor later told me it was like my flight or fight response kicked in of the pain and stuff. And I did the giveaway and I ended the stream. And that night, my husband and I had tickets to see a basketball game. Mm-hmm. And I was just not feeling great, but I wanted to go. I just wanted to go. I can't just let this rule me. So I went. And then the pain started happening again during the basketball game. And I'm sitting here like, oh, shoot.
Oh, wow.
And so I leaned against my husband. He goes, "Do you need to go to the hospital?" I said, No, it'll pass. So it's just, I don't want to give up on life and
Right.
the things I'm able to do. And thankfully, after working with a physical therapist, a chronic pain physical therapist, I do have a chronic pain management team that
Mhm.
helps. Um, she said, realize your triggers. If you know you're doing too much, and the problem is like what's happening is I can't keep the posture because of the pain, and I fight through it, and you just get a vasovagal syncope response where you just start to collapse because I can't hold it anymore. I'm just so fatigued,
Yeah.
and you just pass out. So I've learned my triggers a lot better, and so I usually handle it a lot better. I make sure that I do stuff for myself to also make it easier to manage pain.
Right.
I'll take a hot bath. I can't take one for very long because my heart starts to race. I'll take a hot bath. Actually, what you're going to find interesting is editing relaxes me a bit.
Oh, wow.
So I will go sit on with my laptop and chill. But sometimes just playing, I know it's silly, Sims chills me out because my brain just shuts off and I'm able to just kind of relax.
Right. Right.
And then hanging out with my kids or, our husband, dating out with my husband. Those are all things I do to kind of like take my mind off the pain. And two, that mental break from doing something else helps me manage it when the pain's really bad. Like I manage it better. And I do take, full disclosure, I do take THC CBD oil. And I only take it like at 7 or 8 o'clock at night. Usually if I don't have school the next morning with the kids, I can take it later. And that's what helps me sleep through the night because I do have hip dislocations sometimes in the night, not subluxations, not full on dislocations, but wow. I'll be sleeping and I can feel my hip out and it hurts.
Jesus.
And so I'll roll onto my back and I like squeeze my muscles and you can hear a click, pop, and have it go back in. And then I'll lay on the other side. And I fall back asleep eventually. But like with, oh gosh, more sex bots. Bye, sex bot.
I'm such a wuss when it comes to pain.
Why does it say an error occurred? I can't.
Yeah, I was getting the same thing when I was trying to block that stuff too. Sorry, go ahead.
I can check. Okay, it worked on the Facebook. Graveyard did it for us. That's why. Thank you, Graveyard.
Thank you.
Are you tired?
Sorry, it's been a long
it's fine. Weekend. Oh yeah, both of us. So I'll take the oil and it helps me sleep through. I only take it at night. I don't usually take it at all during the day because you can't drive on it and stuff. And so I'm usually very busy with that. Thank you, Graveyard. I appreciate you being on top of that. And yes, Ability TV is right. John's right. Distraction works wonders. So
yeah,
one thing I will do if I'm in a lot of pain and it is during the day and I'm exhausted, I go upstairs, lie in my bed, stick a YouTube video on the TV, and just try to relax my body so that I'm not using those muscles.
Right.
So, but I have to find a balance. A lot of the times if I have to do something and I'm in pain, like go pick up my kids or whatever, I remind myself it's temporary. Okay. That I will be able to get home and rest, that I will get there eventually. Actually, hi Sharpie. That was my thing when I was in labor. It's not going to be forever.
Right.
Yeah, that was fun having a kid. I actually gave birth to my youngest in less than 2.5 hours of labor. Ooh. It was husband. Oh my goodness, Aubrey, I love that. Husbands for their win. Yeah, it doesn't. You're right, John. It has to be something you're passionate about. Like I love watching YouTube videos. There'll be like a certain streamer. Oh, I love them and their personality, and it's very distracting. My husband is incredibly supportive for a lot of the pain stuff that I go through and whatnot. Like if sometimes there are days, and it's not very often, thankfully, where the chronic fatigue from EDS will get to me and I can barely get out of bed.
Right.
And I'm just like, I can't move. I don't feel good. And he's like, all right, well, I'll just take care of the kids, and I'll be with them today, kind of a thing. Right. Yeah. And it's just, I just deal with it. I manage it. I do a really good job managing it. Not every day is perfect. Oh, John, thank you. Not every day is great. There are bad days, and thankfully I've had mostly good days. I think the worst day is not the one where I passed out.
Right.
It's during COVID when school had to be like virtual.
Yeah.
This is where I sat, and my son was right here in his own little desk, doing school. I'm going to check out the comments. I have an idea for a show. Instead of having a specific guest, why not invite people from the community to talk? And yeah, definitely. That sounds really like a really cool idea, Paul. I'll talk with Ark about it some more. Selena, hello, Selena. How are you? Yeah, exactly. I like it, Paul. I kind of like it. So Ark and I will talk about it more. So he would be right here in his little desk with his thing. And upstairs, we're getting ready. Yeah, we all get through the tough. You are correct. So we're getting ready, and I pick up my son. Now, at this time, he's like 6.
Right.
And right when I picked him up, my rib dislocated for the first time ever. And I was able to put him down, but I just fell. I cried out in pain, fell to the ground. Mm-hmm. And in true mother fashion, my husband goes, he was like 2 feet from me when it happened. He's like, what do I do? And I'm like, just get him ready for school. Go give him breakfast. He still has school. That was like mom reaction. So he took him downstairs, and I was able to kind of get myself onto the bed. It took about 10 minutes, but I got the rib back in. And I was just in incredible pain. But I was determined, and I shouldn't have done this. I should have just canceled school that day and rested. I was determined, and I sat here, hunched over because it hurt so much, while my kid was in class for 4 hours. Oh, my God. And I just dealt with it, And, I should have just said screw class that day. And it actually took 2 weeks to fully recover from that. Because it was just like, it took 2 weeks to feel normal again. And it was the first time it's ever happened at that time. And so now, ever since then, my husband and my kid are like, even my son is like, you are not. Like, if I tried to hug him and he thought I was about to pick him up, he's like, no. You're not allowed to pick me up, mommy. And now he's 9.5. He's just over 9 years old, and I shouldn't pick him up. He's kind of big now. But that kind of upset me to not be able to pick him up. So we do cuddle as much. Actually, this is his blanket that I'm cuddling. And we actually, and unfortunately, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is genetic. Wow. It's I'm pretty sure my youngest has EDS. But children are often, one of the things is hypermobility, right? So like when you hear someone say I'm double jointed, usually it means some type of hypermobility. And we already know he's hypermobile. But a lot of kids are until they get out of teenage years, and you naturally stiffen up a little bit. But if you're still hypermobile, it is, you could be just hypermobile like a contortionist. Right. They don't have EDS, but they're hypermobile. My problem is my ligaments aren't holding my joints together, and it'll stretch so far my joint will pop out. That's what's happening. I know it sounds terrible. I know. I'm so sorry. I just gotta, and one thing also is, so I had jaw surgery. Right. Did I ever tell you about that?
No.
So when I would eat, my jaw would dislocate on this side a little bit.
Oh my God.
And singing, eating, talking would start to hurt a lot. So they broke it in 5 places and wired it shut.
Oh my God.
Too bad I don't have pictures of this ahead of time. I was really swollen and big. And unfortunately, I never gained feeling back in this area. So I'm all numb. So if we ever eat together.
You told me about the numb
area. If we ever eat together, Nigel, just let me know because I can't tell. But now it no longer has that problem. I no longer dislocate or anything like that. And I can sing and talk without pain, which is wonderful. But there was that happened. That was quite wonderful. But you're wired shut for like 3 months. Like it's 6 weeks of wired shut, but then like I couldn't sing for 3 to 4 months. That's what it was. Wow. And as many of you know, I do sing opera, kind of classical music. So yeah, it's a lot to deal with. I managed it. The jaw being wired shut was rough. And then they actually pulled your facial nerves out of the way and everything like that. And then one thing that developed from the EDS is I don't work well with Novocaine. So more like a year ago, I went to the dentist and I had 4 different appointments to get over 20 fillings done and 2 crowns.
Right.
And for some, because of the way the EDS was, I will tell you about Mike in just a moment. Some of the numbing doesn't work on me. So I've had fillings without numbing.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So unfortunately, that's kind of rough sometimes. Like in the cementing of the crown and all that. Hi, Dr. Saber is done without any kind of numbing because it doesn't always work.
Is that just oral thing or like any kind of surgery?
No, mostly oral. Like part of it has to do with the jaw surgery, like pulling the nerves out of the way and things. When they move your jaw, and dentists go by landmarks in your mouth for the nerves, and mine are not in the place they used to be anymore because of the jaw surgery.
Right.
And so oftentimes, and it's okay, Paul. You know, I'm a happy person, so thankfully, even with all these issues, I'm still love life.
And I wanted to say really quickly because Paul brought that up. The only reason I wasn't trying to put you on blast or anything, Mezzo. I know that it's your health issues aren't necessarily private things. However,
but I'm perfectly
I do
content
realize
to talk about it.
that most people don't realize that you deal with these things because you don't really talk about it. And I brought it up only to show how much it is that you're still able to do even while dealing with all of these health issues and chronic pain all the time. You still get a lot accomplished.
I don't talk about it a lot because I don't want to be like, woe is me, but I'm perfectly content to talk about it. So that's never like, it's never not okay to talk about it. And so Bat Mike asked what kind of food I was able to eat while I was wired shut. So being wired shut, you have a guard, and then I had braces, and then you have all these bands holding your mouth shut.
Oh my God.
Actually almost died. But I'll tell you that story in just a second. I know we're kind of going long, but only openings I had were back here. So I had to hi, Dr. Saber again. I had to drill when I worked in the dental department, I had people that told me they can't be numbed. Yeah, and I'm one of those people now. I had to blend my food, but I had a 2-ounce syringe with a rubber tube catheter.
Right.
Hi, Moons. I think it's Jeremy, right? That's his name. I'm so sorry if I got that wrong. And Graveyard. Hey there, different account. The rubber catheter tube would go to the back of my mouth, and I would feed myself by injecting 2 ounces at a time.
Oh my God.
I was nursing my child too.
It's like Andor.
Yeah, and it wasn't just in the blender.
Food tube.
Yeah, pretty much. It wasn't just in the blender. I had to go from the blender to like one of those metal strainers because the blender would make things too thick for the rubber catheter to go through.
Right.
So I couldn't even drink a milkshake because I couldn't use a straw. It was wired shut so much that there's no air to pull through. And I stayed one night in the hospital, one night at home, and then the third day, like I could not breathe through my nose at all.
Oh my God.
And full disclosure, it's kind of gross, but when you have jaw surgery, they put you know how you see the breathing tube for people having surgeries when they're intubated?
Yeah.
Mine was through my nose because the surgery was on my mouth.
Right.
And my nose filled with clogged up with dry blood, unfortunately. Oof. And it was just I couldn't breathe out of it. Well, with my mouth being wired shut, the only air could get through back here. I actually started hallucinating, and I realized I was not breathing correctly. Like I couldn't get air. And so my mother-in-law took me to the emergency room. And if I passed out, the emergency would be to cut the bands, but my jaw would fall apart then.
Oh my God.
So you kind of don't want to have that happen. So I went to the ER with my mother-in-law, and the knowledge of knowing that your muscles use oxygen is what reminded me to like move extremely slow.
Right.
So like it was like I was in real life slow motion, and got to the hospital. It was like the shortest wait for the ER that you've ever seen. Literally walked me straight into triage.
Wow.
My mother-in-law had to translate everything for me because I just couldn't speak. Like, you're stuck like this and you don't know how to say anything. You're like super.
I feel like that would literally be torture.
I know for you it would be. And I was super swollen. I was like a chipmunk. I was so swollen. And so she explained, I just wasn't able to breathe. I was scared to sleep because I just couldn't breathe. And they did a test on my oxygen, and they're like, you're at the level of someone having an asthma attack.
Right.
Like it was. And so they gave me medicine that shrinks the blood vessels in your nose. It's called Afrin. A lot of people know about it. And within 5 minutes, I was able to breathe through my nose, and it was amazing.
Wow.
And I found out like 3 weeks later that they prescribed Afrin to me, but it was in my dirty clothes bag and not in my medicine bag. So we didn't even know we had it.
Oh my God.
And yeah, so it was a bit scary. I was thankful that the actual fix for it at the ER was super quick.
Right.
I was so relieved just to be able to breathe. Like, I mean, it's something we do subconsciously in a sense. Like, I can't remember autonomous, like we just breathe naturally as it is, unless we're mindfully trying to control it.
Right.
And then it's not until you're barely able to that you realize how scary it is not to be able to.
Yeah, no, that is honestly one of my biggest fears is it's like a sense of claustrophobia. And my mom died. She had lung diseases. So I've gone to the hospital with her a couple times where they've had to drain fluid out of her lungs and just.
Oh, that's rough. I'm so sorry, Art.
Yeah, it's definitely a scary thing. So when you talked about not being able to breathe, that kind of put me on edge right
oh
away.
Gosh, I'm sorry. I didn't...
Right. No, this is actually fantastic, and I'm hoping I'm hoping that at some point you can come on Hearts of Kyber and talk about some of these issues that we have coming up, because I think it's helpful for people to know that just because you have chronic pain doesn't mean that you can't still be accomplished.
Yeah,
in what you're trying to do.
There's even with chronic pain or even not, if you think you can't do something, you work and you can do it. I wanted to be an editor. I wanted to work on a YouTube channel. I wanted to do photography and art, and I'm doing it.
And you're doing
even with this pain and issue that I've got, this health issues. And it's, and what's also very important is my support system.
Right.
If you know someone who has physical or mental disabilities, be there for them. Be there. Even if it's just a talk or, whatever, just be there for them. And that's like, gosh, if I didn't have my support system, I don't know where I'd be at, because I have so many issues. And just to give, this is something I don't normally do, but I'm going to do it for you guys. Okay. These are called party tricks. You don't normally do these when you have EDS because it can be damaging in the long run. But see my elbow?
Yeah. Hey. Ew.
That's the other way. Yeah.
Oh my God.
So like that's not even as far as I can go. But that's one thing. Like I have to make sure. Like Paul says, he has carpal tunnel, and I'm still kidding on designs. Yeah. So you're still working through it. It sucks, but you're working through it. And so with the elbow, I used to do that. That to me feels like straight. When that's because it's my limit. And so I have to.
I agree.
Sorry, I should have said like. I should have put like a disclaimer up beforehand. I have to be mindful for things like, hi Shannon. Like when I reach for something in my back seat, my arm will go backwards and I don't realize it.
Right. Oh my God. And
in the long run, that can cause fractures in the elbow and stuff. So I try my best not to do that very often. I have to be very mindful because sometimes you're just, you're walking or you're reaching for something. It's not something you should necessarily always have to think about, but I do have to think about it. Right. And I don't always remember to think about it. I'm like, oh crap, I just did it. But it is what it is. And you should see it when I have it against something. I can flip my whole arm around at the same time and it's a mess. It's awful.
Hey, Mez, we're running a little long on the segment, so we're gonna get wrapped up here. I definitely wanted to bring that up because, like I said, you do so much for Kyber Cave Productions. Not only on this show, Saber Rattle, you're not on Kyber Cave After Dark, but you do a lot of the work to get that set up too. And apparently, everybody thinks that you do everything on that show. So, screw me. But
Ark does do plenty for this channel. You guys don't always see it either. Just because he's not the most tech savvy doesn't mean he doesn't do stuff.
Hey, I brought all you people together.
A lot of the time, the comments coming up are him, and then I try to do it, and then we're both overproducing, and the next thing you know, a comment appears and disappears. Man, where is Mezzo to tell you the time? I know she's not here to keep him on track. I start to blab.
Right. All right. We are gonna go ahead and leave here. You're here every week, so any words of wisdom you have, you can depart anytime you want.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for listening to me ramble on about myself. It's so weird to talk about me. It feels so strange, but
I
you
think
know
it's
what?
really
It's kinda
cool.
cool.
You've been here for 7 months, and people like are just now getting to know the real you.
Yeah, there's a lot of things people didn't realize, and now they know more about it. And oh, thank you, Lightsaber Paul's really, really sweet. So, guys, thank you so much for letting me just talk about me and getting to know me a little bit. So, cue the outro and the exact same people.
Not on your
Thank
end,
you,
so-
man.
Okay, cool. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Dark. Thank you, Tyler. I just like shook my whole desk. Okay.
How does that sound?
Yes. Who's
So,
left?
I want to thank everybody who came along, like the Ubi and OMG Becky for the raid of 5. And thank you so much for Chad promoting my chat and making sure that I don't kill myself with alcohol poisoning. And Nightbot, you're pretty cool too. And thank you for Sui for joining me for Phasmophobia. And we'll be back some other time to play more ghosty stuff or another game.
So that last bit there,
Holy crap! When you screamed, I almost crapped myself. Holy crap!
I saw your reaction. So that last clip there, it was my birthday, and I had drunk like this much whiskey, and it was my outro. And my friend who was my mod at the time, his username was MLP the Chad. He kind of mouthed my words for me, and it was very Who's Line, right? Where I can't remember the game. The show was the giveaway. Aw, Paul.
Oh,
You're so
we
sweet.
love you, Paul.
And so I was like sitting in this exact spot, mouthing, and he was saying the words for me. I could see myself in your background laughing at myself. And it was a lot of fun. That was 2 years ago too.
Wow.
Goodness gracious. So thank you so much. All right, moving on from me. Ugh.
We will move forward really quickly because we've had new people jump in and we have people asking.
Yeah.
Yes, we have a saber to give away. We will be giving this away at the end. And everybody who has left a comment, simply by leaving a comment, you are already entered in the drawing. If you have multiple YouTube accounts, you can use multiple entries. The more YouTube accounts you have, the more entries you can get. But I did want to let people know that we are able to give this away thanks to our sponsors at TXQ Sabers. TXQ is a fine quality saber. They are the saber of Kyber Cave's choice. We used to deal with a lot of brands. I used to have a repair shop in downtown Fairfield, and we would deal with a lot of the big name saber brands. I don't want to mention any names, but if you're in the saber community, you know all the big name companies. We used to do repairs on all of them. And when we decided, we bought our CNC machine so we could start doing our own hills. But when we decided we need to focus on one company, TXQ was the one that we went with because of the high amount of quality and value you got for such a small price. What I love about TXQ is a lot of their sabers, and you can tell on this one, has a very deep socket, which allows you to get more of your blade in here, giving you more control and power on your blade. And as you can tell, they're beautifully colored and wonderfully priced. This saber comes with 12 colors, or as I like to say, red plus 11 other colors. It comes with 10 character fonts, including Luke, Ahsoka, Vader. All of your favorites are on here. Flash on crash, rechargeable. I mean, this has all of the features you want without the high price tag. So at the end of tonight, somebody will win this. I will go over the rules at the end. Yes, that is the Marauder. Aubrey, it is Marty. Oh, sorry. I will go over the rules for this. There are just a couple of rules, but we will go over that later. And I did want to remind everybody too, we do have a Patreon page. You can help out this show for as little as $1 a month, and you can get access to exclusive prizes plus other giveaways and things that are exclusive for our Patreon members. So make sure to check that out and our Discord out.
Yes, please check those out. And they can see the banner down below.
Aubrey said that's going to be mine.
Ooh, we shall find out.
All right, somebody on here.
Moving on, we have our wonderful producer Kevin Hogan, who is our convention connoisseur. I would love saying that. I don't know why. He goes to conventions every week and gives us a report on everything that's going on, and also lets you know about future conventions in the area coming up. So, without further ado, please enjoy Kevin Hogan's report.
Our favorite.
Hello, everyone. This is Kevin Hogan from Northern California with another episode of California Comic-Con Adventures. On the weekend of November the 13th, 2022, we got to see our friends over at Ohana Comic-Con visit the Porterville area there. We got to see their vendor hall full of neat souvenirs and collectibles there, and the artist alley full of all these neat drawings and things going on for sale there. And, of course, all of our friends there and their neat creative costumes there at their cosplay contest there. For those of you that don't know, Ohana Comic-Con visits a different city up and down the state of California every weekend there. They visit all sorts of moose and elk closets and community centers there. And whenever they come to a city near you, definitely recommend checking them out there. They're usually very economically priced, admission usually around less than $10 there. Speaking of future events there, Ohana Comic-Con on November the 26th will be visiting the Woodland area, and on November the 27th, Ohana Comic-Con visits the San Jose area, so you can definitely check them out there and meet some local friends there at their cosplay contest there. And for those of you in the South San Francisco area, the 38th Annual Great Dickens Christmas Fair is going on mid-November through mid-December. So anyone with top hats or steampunk costumes can definitely check those out there, walking around indoors, out of the rain there, inside the Cow Palace there. So that'll be fun to check out there. Have a great time going on there. And also, for those of you that have been waiting many years for a San Francisco Comic-Con to return, on November the 25th through the weekend of November the 27th is Fan Expo at the Moscone Center in San Francisco. So that'll be cool to check out all the stuff going on there in San Francisco. Well, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy the picks, and we'll see you out there at the next Comic-Con.
Oh wow, Kevin's even got sound effects on his outro now too.
I know.
I like that hard stamp.
Thank you, Kevin Hogan, for your report. We appreciate you going out there every week and recording us a report. We really appreciate it very much.
Surviving all those undeodorized crowds. You are a true hero, my friend.
That's great. I love it.
All right, well, I think it's about that time.
It is about that time.
No? Maybe so?
It's about that time.
Should I just keep it for myself? Okay, really quick, before you do the thing, I want to let people know the rules. First rule is if you win, it is your responsibility to get a hold of us. So if you are, because we can't message you on, are you okay?
My whole computer fell over.
You what?
The computer fell over.
Oh, snaps.
Whacked my. Okay, it's okay. Go ahead, keep going.
We're having issues here. So it is your responsibility to get a hold of us. We don't have a way to message you on YouTube, so you have to message either Kyber Cave Productions, Kyber Cave on Facebook, or you can email us, kybercaveproductions@gmail or kybercave@gmail, to let us know how to get this saber to you. If you live in the area, you can pick it up at the shop any day we're open. If you do not live in the area, it has to be shipped to you, and you are responsible for shipping. And the last rule is you may not win if you have already won a saber in the last 3 months. So, John, no saber for you if you happen to be the winner tonight. And it is not open to Kyber Cave employees, but technically I only have one employee. I only pay one person. So, everybody, Aubrey, you still got a shot at it.
Yes. So what happened is I have a little rest underneath my desk for my feet. It's this little nice soft thing I can rest my feet on. I went to go do that and I hit something hard and it hurt. And unfortunately the arch where my right foot is, where they've done multiple surgeries, is super painful sensitive. Like I can't have things touch it and stuff. And I whacked my foot right there on my computer. And I was like, what the heck is that? And I was like, my whole computer is under my desk and it went boop. And I didn't even notice. It happened at one point. Oh well. Oh no. Yes, it's open to Kyber Cave customers. That means all of you.
Right. And even people that I just met. In fact, I had somebody 4 months ago that I just saw him today. He came to the show today. But I had met him that day, and then that night he won a saber. So that has happened on more than one occasion that I literally just met somebody and then they gave them a saber the next day or that same night.
Yeah. That's awesome.
That means all of you. That's right, Saber Paul.
All of you loves. Okay,
I have no idea where you're going with that.
I was singing Bruno. Gosh, what's his name? John Legend. That song, "All of You."
Oh, I got it.
Yeah, I was. My saber staff messed my shin up yesterday. Oh no, Matt, not good. Oh, now my arch itches because it's hurting. It sounds weird to say it's itching. All right. So guys, who's ready?
Thing. You guys ready? Is everybody ready?
Drum roll with my tongue. Here we go. Oh, no, the sex box.
And it's off and running.
Graveyard! Sorry, I must scream that so loudly into the mic because I was like right here. Right there.
I like how it was Graveyard from a different YouTube and then Graveyard again.
And then Graveyard. I was like, oh, he didn't get it. Oh wait, he got it.
The power of doing it from multiple accounts, people. I tell you all the time, do it for multiple accounts. Graveyard.
I'm sorry.
You are the winner of the Marauder, and I know Aubrey is very, very jealous. This was the saber she was won. That's okay, Aubrey. We have more.
Where like Graveyard's gonna be like, "Hi, Aubrey."
You like my steak?
All right, congratulations, Graveyard. I know how to get in touch with you. You win. How to get a hold of you guys?
Yeah, I don't know who that guy is. Maybe we'll just have to keep the saber.
I don't know. All right, thank you guys so much for being on here tonight. I appreciate being able to get to just speak to all of you and you can get to know me a little bit more. If you guys want to ask me more things, you can always get a hold of me on the Discord. I'm the one who checks the Kyber Cave productions at gmail.com. So you can always email that email. If you do know me on Facebook, you can always ask me questions there, whatever you see your fancy, or you can find me on Twitter. My DMs are open on Twitter. You can always DM and ask me anything.
You can find me at my job. You can ask me anything.
You can find me at my job. You can ask me anything. That doesn't mean I'll answer everything. But if you have any further questions about, oh gosh, I just realized I have more hair here. About stuff we talked about tonight, it's fine. Paul Saber says, if you want more giveaways, remember to share these posts to your friends and your pages. Yeah. Share the channel so that every 50 subscribers until we get to 1,000 is a Saber giveaway, and after that it's every 100. So share the channel. Tell people how much fun you have here and how awesome it is because we can connect.
We just gave the last Saber away just 2 weeks ago. So
yeah, we've grown a lot. It's great.
Keep up with us. Every 50 subscribers right now, we're giving away a saber. So if you didn't win tonight, you can win when we hit 850. All you got to do is do what you just did. Just leave a comment. It's as easy as that.
Just leave a comment. It's just how easy it is. How simple it is to just leave a comment. Multiple accounts.
I know the next 2 weeks I'm very excited about our guests the next 2 weeks. We have the Rippers coming on, both Gary Ripper of Ripper Blades, which many of you know he is a legend in the saber community. And one of my favorite people on the planet is wife, Miss Veronica Ripper. She's like my sister from another mother, dude. Like, we're totally homies. She is starting her own saber company called BYO Sabers, and she wants to tell you all about that. So the combination of Ripper Blade Blades and BYO Sabers, that's like peanut butter and jelly, baby. So they're going to be here the next 2 weeks. I don't know if Gary's going to be on first or Veronica or which order they're going in, but they will be on the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, like Paul said, if you guys want more giveaways, remember to share these posts to your friends and your pages and groups so that we can have more giveaways so they can win something.
Yeah! Everybody wins something.
Show and people deserve the love, my friends. Thank you so much, Paul. We enjoy having every single one of you here with us. And yet, Joe says, if we make a purchase, are we still able to win one? Yes, absolutely. As long as you have
definitely.
As long as you have not won one the last 3 months and you are not
on my payroll.
You are not on his payroll. You cannot win one. I do have my own. Assassin. I love it.
And I have mine. I have my Crusader here as well. This Saber has seen a lot of abuse, and not just from customers who ask dumb questions. No, I'm kidding.
I have a great video of my kid who didn't know I was recording him, and I like the camera peeks around the corner, and he's like, vroom, vroom, and I'm like, hi. He goes, hi, because he wanted to play with it, and I'm fine with my kids holding on to it for a little bit.
All right, Mezzo, I think we should get the talk of the town rolling.
Yes, gosh, goodness gracious. Love all you guys. My Bird has a Saber, and it's amazing. It is amazing. It's wonderful. Paul, guys, good night. Good night,
Thank you
Paul.
for all the new people. I realize there are people that I just met this weekend. There's brand new names like Shannon. I saw Dominique up here. A bunch of new names that I
Big
have not
V,
seen
who
before.
was I think a friend John sent over. Yeah, a lot of people John are sending over. So thank you so much, John.
Thank you, John. And then make sure to we have God. It's hard to say. Make sure to check out this because we have like shows popping up on every day now.
If you need to know more about the shows we are hosting, in the description below, I do actually list every single one of our shows, when they are and what it's about.
Wow,
I do that every week. I didn't know if you knew that.
I didn't know that.
Now you know. So guys, without further ado, enjoy your evening. We will see you Wednesday morning for our gaming stream. And don't forget to check out The Last of Us uploads. That Force just uploaded one right before the show.
I'm going to go watch that as soon as I get out of here.
Yeah, I was watching it while I was doing my makeup.
After Wednesday morning, we have Wednesday evening with Hearts of Kyber.
Yes, we have Hearts of Kyber Wednesday evening. And don't forget to check that out. That's with Ark and John, a.k.a. Ability TV.
Our topic this week is going to be anxiety.
Yes.
So,
all right, awesome.
All righty.
Wonderful. All right, guys, have a good night. Bye.
Adios.